Na'Vi versus the 4 Anchors and Sea Captains. Hopefully things are fixed here on our end for game number 2. I'm Gods, bring me Syndrian. How are you sounding?
Like this.
Like
is
this.
that good?
That sounds good to me. I'm happy.
I'm hoping this is good. Yeah.
Hopefully the stream's happy.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Give us feedback immediately to let us know if this is, well, hopefully it's better, but if it's the way it should be, that's really what we want to know. Yeah, sorry I cut out there toward the end, but as we saw in that game, 4ASC got off to a really good start. Like they needed to. They make pretty much 1 or 2 mistakes, and Na'Vi get 7,500 gold from it. They took like 4 towers, and immediately went to push the Rex top, and the game just ended. So I want to call that more of a strategic win than execution, to be honest, because I think 4AC actually played it pretty well in the start. I guess one thing to highlight was the Midas pickup on Spirit Breaker, which didn't really seem to fit the game plan. But apart from that, I think they did okay.
Yeah. It just seemed crazy that the one mistake that led to a 7k gold change was just one Magnus pickoff. That shows to me kind of how much Na'Vi had, like how much more room for error they had. When 4 Anchors, one slight slip up where Magnus goes into the Radiant jungle, he dies, leads to a Roshan, and then every tower on the map falling. So I think there was an element of outdraft there as well, as far as 4 Anchors had to play it 100% perfect from start to finish to stand a chance of winning.
Yeah. Well, they're going to take a different approach this time. This is a very different opener. Na'Vi will be first picking the Vengeful Spirit, and, well, they picked Venge last game too, but this time around 4ASC with some new stuff. They're bringing out their Chen, and perhaps we're going to see them trying to... I don't feel like their lineup in the last game necessarily had that much of a problem when it came to objectives or pushing, but now they at least have a very good opener for that. Chen with the creeps, being able to push towers and secure Roshan. And Batrider, actually a really good pushing hero, because the moment you start sieging the tower, if Batrider finds a key pick off, that secures you the tower. So they do choose to pick Bat into Venge though, which is confident, but I like it.
Yeah, if it's a hero that you feel really good about, like, why not? I feel like even against the Vengeful Spirit, yeah, you've got a counter to it, but it's still just a good hero in its own right. Its ability to kind of rotate back to the jungle later on, you can kind of always guarantee some ability for the hero to tempo control the game, so I don't think you just stop picking the hero when you see the Venge, necessarily. But
I think Batrider is just such a good pick that you can pick it into Venge. Like, Venge is a solution, but ultimately Batrider still has the surprise factor. If he has a 4 staff, you need to be very quick with the swap. It's way easier to swap when it's only a blink. But toward the mid-late game, Batrider just also provides a lot of utility, even without lassoing. Just the Firefly to secure for example, the Roshan pit and stuff like that. Giving really good vision lasts way, way longer than the Wave of Terror. So, still a lot of nice utility, and Sticky Napalm is ridiculous. So.
We'll see what Na'Vi look to go for here. They've got the start of some minus armor here. They banned out the Shadow Fiend, which they picked up last time around, but I imagine 4 Anchors may be considering either a Drow or a Visage ban in that second stage, especially the Drow Ranger if it's still available. And Na'Vi pick up the Queen of Pain, so normally picked up as like a kind of counter in the mid lane if you want to try and dominate the mid lane against a melee hero or against something like a sniper, but they just happen to pick up the Queen of Pain before they even know who Queen of Pain's going up against in the mid lane.
Yeah, it's one of Dendy's best heroes, so I like the fact that Na'Vi go for it. It's not a great hero against Batrider in general, since Queen of Pain, very mobility based. If she gets caught by a lasso, can be in a lot of trouble, and is very, very fragile if you do manage to catch her out. But as far as dominating the laning stage and getting off to a good start again, Na'Vi with a similar opener. They start with 2 ranged heroes. Last game it was Venge Shadow Fiend, this time it's Venge Quap, and 4SC realized that, okay, maybe Na'Vi just want to pull the same one on us again. So this time they ban out the Drow, and it's going to be a very different game, I think, with Dendy playing a more active role in the mid Quap instead of more of a farming role in Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, I think this maybe
puts... off lane, but that's weak on Dire, I feel.
Yeah. Unless we see maybe more of a traditional Havos safe lane farmer, although the Troll banned out already. The Juggernaut's still available in the pool, but we'll see what Na'Vi maybe have in mind. I imagine they'll get something that can benefit from the minus armor of Revenge, something that can take Roshan, which is where Jug seems like a pretty solid pick for Na'Vi, but it's still another ban left for 4 Anchors, who may even want to go for the Juggernaut themselves, as we saw last game. Is a hero that Matumba Man tends to lean towards.
Yeah, I think the Jugger is a really hot pick for both teams here. It's great for 4ASC's lineup, in my opinion, for pushing the towers with the Healing Ward and Shen's creeps, and All right, never mind.
Lina.
They're gonna counterpick the Quap. This is one of the strengths of Quap is, of course, or I want to say the main strength, but she was changed a bit, so she actually does more than just dominate her lane. But obviously, a big part of Queen of Pain is winning the mid lane. Lina is one of the very few heroes that is actually favored in this matchup. Lina wins the laning as Queen of Pain. And it's because Queen of Pain, a big part of her lane dominance comes from moving in and casting Shadow Strike on the target. But whenever you try that, Lina can always trade with Light Strike Array and a Dragon Slave, and if she has points in Fiery Soul, she can just hit Quap a couple times, and it's an easily one exchange for Lina. Has a range advantage too, by being, I think it's 670 these days. Lina's range is ridiculous. And maybe Na'Vi just take it one step further, and they pick a Zeus against the Lina, and maybe they safe lane the Quap.
Yeah, very possible. I mean, theoretically, could even offlane the Quap if you have like some kind of a dual lane going, like an Earthshaker or a Lich or something to go with the offlane. But pretty fast draft now coming up from the two teams. Forankers pick up their secondary support in the Witch Doctor, give their team a bit of extra team fight, which they were kind of lacking with the Lina being very single target. The Bat Rider also that single target initiator, so we'll see Na'Vi now look to respond. You mentioned the Zeus could be going mid now with the Queen of Pain. Zeus, one of Phobos' best heroes. Back in the Aces Polar days, though, he made Zeus look incredibly strong when he ran this mid, so maybe it's going to be something he even takes to the offlane.
They could do that and get an AA support. I think AA is really nice. Alright.
Okay.
Never mind. That's not a hero I would have guessed for this lineup.
Are you telling me you didn't predict the Bounty Hunter pick, Cinder? I don't believe that.
I'm not... Oh, it's... They're picking fairly quickly, like you pointed out. This Bounty Hunter took them a little bit of time, so... I'm guessing the idea of the bounty is just to run after the Chen, right? If you see the secondary support is one that does not have a very good stun or a very good slow, Bounty Hunter can most of the time just run after Chen, get half the experience, maybe steal some last hits. And if you can't just dust him out and kill him with, say, you have like a Venomancer with an extremely long slow, or maybe you have a hero like Shadow Demon and you can disrupt and surround him with Chen creeps or something like that where he gets completely caught and shut down. Witch Doctor can't do that, so Bounty Hunter here can probably just run after Chen as he wants, and that's a really big advantage for Na'Vi in the start.
Yeah. It seems they've really picked towards the kind of lane dominance here, although the Queen of Pain, as you kind of mentioned, if you send Queen of Pain mid, you won't have that lane dominance against Selena, but Bounty Hunter can keep the Chen out of the game, prevent him from leveling and farming, even just scout out any of his ganks. You've got Venge, who's just a good roaming early game support as well. Both teams still seem to need their safe lane farmer, though. We mentioned the Juggernaut, bit surprising that maybe neither team has picked that up, but we'll see if it was going to be a Jug ban or pick here, and as we lead into our last picks for the two teams who seem to need their Havost and Matumba Man heroes.
Yeah, it's definitely Matumba for 4ASC. For Na'Vi, Havost does play Queen of Pain.
Okay.
They've done it quite a few times in the past, but you're right, the most likely proposition is probably to put Zeus offlane because it's going to be Zeus versus Witch Doctor +1, since Bounty will keep Chen busy all the time. And then they can do like kind of a 2-1-2, but where the Bounty Hunter support isn't really laning, but more of just counter jungling. If that's what they do, you are indeed right, it's going to be a close hero. But there is, of course, also the alternative that we mentioned, safe laning Quap and putting Zeus mid. But then Na'Vi don't have a physical damage late gamer, unless they offlane that one, but then it's not going to get good farm. So, all in all, probably most likely that they get a carry here that deals with AM.
Yes, so they see the anti-mage. They can either go super late game with a Havost hero or get something which is more physical damage based and can fight him. Like, I mean, the Jug still seems like a really solid pick in general, but we'll see what Na'Vi have in mind. Something I don't think we're going to see, but I think I've seen it once or twice before, is the Havost Bounty Hunter as a safe lane farmer. It didn't particularly seem amazing, but it is something Havost has done a few times before. But doesn't seem like a likely go-to. Whoa! I didn't recognize that fellow at first.
Total rework. Who's this hero again?
Yeah.
Well, I like the rework though. But regardless, I think this pick is really, really good for a couple of reasons. Void and Zeus and Quap have ridiculous synergy. Any good Chronosphere here gives kills. That's just how it's going to be. All of Quap's spells have decent range, especially Sonic Wave is super easy to hit in the Chronosphere. If the Chronosphere is very poorly placed, maybe you can't hit the Scream, but at least you get the Sonic. You will hit the Zeus ult. If Zeus is in the periphery, he can cast maybe 3 or 4 spells during the Chrono, like double Arc Lightning, 1 Bolt, and his ult, and that's 4 procs on Static Field. So the damage is off the charts for the Na'Vi lineup. This means that even if 4ASC get really good farm on the AM, I still think Na'Vi's lineup can fight them around the 30-minute mark, which is when AM usually peaks, because the entirety of 4ASC's lineup, apart from the AM, will just be torn to pieces with a good Chrono.
Yeah, and even if Anti-Mage can survive, it's always going to be like, what can he get done on the map? And for Na'Vi, as Void gets farmed enough, like the Anti-Mage has to be scared if he tries to split push against a potential Chronosphere, so we'll see how things work out. It will be that support Bounty Hunter. Saniko going to be playing that kind of 4-position role, looking to harass down the Chen on the Bounty Hunter. The rest of the Na'Vi side will have DK Phobos on the Zeus. Dendi going to be running the Queen of Pain. Vengscore on the Vengeful Spirit. And it's going to be Havost playing the Faceless Void. On the Radiant side, we've got Team 4 Anchors and Sea Captain down 1-0. Trixie, the offlaner, going to be playing the Bat Rider. We've got Boogie playing the Chen. Nemphy going to be on the Alina. Varlix on the support Witch Doctor. And then Matumba Man on the Anti-Mage. So Nico scanning out these 3 heroes here. They've already laid down a Sentry Ward. They're trying to hope that that Saniko walks into it seems. But so far, no luck.
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, well, it's not unlikely that, well, I think if they want to pull this gank off, I think Valix is just in a bad position, honestly. He's standing in the middle here. If he hides behind the tree line, it's possible Bounty takes 1 step further to the left and does get caught. But now he's going to see their position.
They see him.
Wait, maybe not.
No auto attack. Here we go.
Very nicely. This should be first blood.
Anti-Mage even blinks in. Will he get out of range? They've got a second Sentry Ward. They'll dust as well. First blood.
Very nice. Good job just faking out and
level 2 going to be the hard part.
And he's going to look to maybe get it in mid. Now that they've sniped the courier, there is kill potential onto the Lina. This is a very risky play from Saniko, actually, walking up here. If they had a sentry there, he could have taken a lot of damage from the Creep Wave plus Lina. Might have actually even died, but trying to set it up as the Orb of Venom opener. Gets a couple of hits in. Nemphy very slow, actually not even casting the stun, very surprisingly.
I think his stun got cancelled by the bolt. I think he started to animation it, but the bolt cancelled it there.
Yeah, and then he never cast it again.
Yeah.
So,
That was
wow. That went better than I thought it would. That was a very unlikely kill in my opinion with level 1 on the bolt, but they get it.
I think if they had Janata, it's like, okay, they probably get the kill, but without the Janata, I was the same. I was like, I don't think they get this, but well, Saniko getting a lot done early on. Now they come mid, drop the Sentry Ward, but it gets pinged out, I think, and Zeus can just bolt and kill this Sentry if he knows it's there, so one of the nice things about the Zeus mid.
You got a haste, and Foriasi don't know he has this haste rune. He could run down Volix right now.
Looks like he wants to go Matumba Man instead. He gets hit by the slow on the Janata and the Orb of Venom. Dendi not following this one up, decides to sit back and... Looks like they'll just press the Anti-Mage a bit. Poor man's shield, lots of regen, kind of a hard kill to get if you're Na'Vi. We've now got ourselves an official Dota 2 game. We didn't have a pause earlier.
In case you weren't sure which game you were watching, this is Dota 2.
Yeah.
Game is paused.
When you see that middle game is paused, it's like, that's right, I'm watching Dota. Of course. Just in case. So, as far as the lanes go...
Alright, here we go.
So First Blood did go Forenka's way, but it does feel like Na'Vi as a whole doing better in their, like, slightly better in their safe lane. Mid lane's been a bit of a, well, it's now going Zeus's way with the kill onto Nemphy, so I think Na'Vi going to be a bit happy about the early game start. It's just kind of unclear.
They have a significant gold lead from the courier snipe too.
Yeah, it's kind of unclear what the Chen's going to be able to do here. He's stacking camps in the jungle, wonder if he's going to look to farm. It looks like he's going to come farm this himself and not leave it for the Bat Rider. Nice cask. The body block from Nico, though. Varlex is in a lot of trouble here. There's going to be an Anti-Mage blink in, but no counter kills going the way of 4 Anchors.
Yeah, this bounty hunter is actually causing them serious trouble. Dendy's going to bottle him. They might double bottle him. They actually do.
He's going to come leech XP too.
Oh my! That hurts.
He may
That's
even
level
steal.
3.5 for bounty.
He could steal a creep, but he's going to go for the Chen kill instead. It seems. Dendy blinks in. They're looking for the kill. Boogie's got no escape here. Maybe gets the deny. Go for the deny, man. No. Well, Na'Vi off to a fantastic start here in Game 2.
And it doesn't seem like 4ASC are familiar with the situation. They're not really adapting to the circumstances with what Bounty Hunter is doing. They're kind of just keeping Witch Doctor as an AFK support in the lane, and there's only one thing that Witch Doctor needs to do right now, and that is to help Chen. If he doesn't, Chen will not be a part of this game.
Oh, this courier, by the way.
Just run after him.
Oh, can he get the courier? He's snuck in the side here. It's actually being rerouted to the Chen. If the Chen didn't reroute that to get his smoke, Bounty Hunter had a courier snipe, I think.
He sees it with the ward. He could find it on the way back.
Is one... right click enough out of with level 2 Janata? I think it is.
If he has well, it's not called Windwalk anymore. Shadow Walk. That should be one shot kill.
He's gonna see.
He is gonna get it.
Yeah, he's in the right spot. We'll find out.
Go for a dive on him because there's a Chronosphere counterplay with just any sort of TP and Trixie dies, and we're actually going to see it right here. But this is not going to be a counterplay. This is going to be an initiation. Very easy Chronosphere should come out here. Actually not. Oh, it's well enough placed.
Firefly damage hurts, but Havost will still get the kill, and even has a salve to get him out of there, so should be fine. Valak's TP'd up here, but he's going to just probably find himself dying here. So Nico coming in from behind could find this kill on your Witch Doctor once Havost heals up. What can 4 Anchors do? They've got an Anti-Mage as their safe lane farmer, not a hero that can get involved. Is there any real big play they can make to kind of turn this game around?
They need to activate the Lina, I think. Because here's the problem with what's happened. Let's actually wait a second. Let's see if something does happen here. So Nico is going to open on Valix. This is Zeushold as well. Easy kill, or maybe not. Yeah, okay, they get it with the cask here. Bouncing around a little bit, but will not be able to get a play off here. Trixie.
So Nico's actually going in with the Janata. Wow. Oh, didn't get the Janata strike. They need to run.
That's just flat out greedy. Opening like that.
Is he going? Okay, the creep gets the kill.
I'm very surprised they tried for that one. Okay, so this lineup that 4AC has drafted it's very snowbally. If you Matumba's gonna die too. Dendy's so low.
I caught most of that one in the end. What? I just went to check on Dendy and then suddenly bang kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see if I can catch a moment to talk about this, because it looks like there's action all the time. And all right now I think we've got a little bit of a calm before the storm. Dendy, maybe not. Oh, he gets the rune. I think Boogie is gonna get out of this. Yeah. Okay, so. Oh, maybe not. Dendy is greedy.
Green blade.
All hell, and we'll get punched here.
You're not allowed to analyze this game, Syndra.
No, I guess not. Okay, now we might get a moment. So Nico will not open on the channel alone one-on-one. So, Alright, so what happens here is, if Chen and Witch Doctor don't work together very early on, the Courier Snipe from Suniko is a big deal. It means the mid lane is lost, effectively. Lina did, well, she's doing fine against Zeus. They're on par and farm, but this is a lane I would think Lina should be winning at least a little bit. But right now it's negligible, right? So the mid lane does not become a win. Lina cannot get that active early on because she doesn't have her bottle. Then they find the kill in the bottom jungle, and then Suniko steals half of Chen's experience. And so Chen's level 3 at like minute 6. Before this happens, Chen and Witch Doctor, they need to find the bounty hunter together and kill him off, so that he does not get to command. They need to open up the bottom lane a little bit to Dendi and let him get some experience, because ultimately what happened anyway was that Dendi got almost full XP with Witch Doctor trying to harass him. Chen got really crippled, and now they're stuck in a situation where Nymphy has to pick up the pieces and win this game for them ultimately, because no one else has the power right now. Trixie doesn't have a blink, the supports are really low level, and what's an AM going to do minute 9?
Yeah. And the vision advantage that Na'Vi have right now with this bounty is ridiculous. By the way, Courier Snipe number 3, it looks like it's about to happen. Suniko, go back! You're in the right place! Oh, it's a bottle too.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
He may be trapped here. He's got no Shadow Walk for 7 seconds. Okay, they're
This
pinging.
bounty hunter is owning this game. He's really just winning the game.
He's in some trouble though, but worth it for a Courier Snipe. Yeah, 4 heroes come chase him down. Havos free farming. You've got Zeus with a Midas now completed. Now this bounty has been. This is some like flashbacks to TI4 with Pylai Die on his bounty hunter almost.
Yeah, I think the record so far of Courier Snipes from one hero was from Pilot Eye at TI4, and he killed it 4 times, I believe, in that game with this bounty hunter.
We're just 10 minutes in.
Just one to go, yeah. If the game is long enough, I'm sure Suniko can do it, right? Yeah. This does really not look good. So Na'Vi getting 3 Courier Snipes, just the raw amount of gold coming from that is obviously ridiculous. But like we said there, they do get the counter kill on bounty, but the problem is he's putting so much pressure on the map by being invisible. For ISC don't know what's going on, because they gave him the space initially. He's starting to take over their jungle, he's giving so much intel to his team, killing the 3 couriers. Currently, he's probably going to move into the Radiant jungle again now, and if he does it with the right timing, might just break up a potential smoke play coming out from Valix in a moment. And there's just... Lina needs to do so much that she can't do until she has to go, oh my god, goodbye.
Yeah, and when your Lena's on the sidelines, it's the one hero that can make plays happen, and we're just not seeing it. Meanwhile, Chronosphere, Trixie caught out in the enemy jungle. Havos with a Mask of Madness and Gloves of Haste, easy pickup for him. Hasn't gone for a greedy build here. Havos wants to be able to get involved and find those solo kills with this item build of his. Didn't go for Midas or anything. And yeah, I don't know what the answer is. For 4 Anchors, all they can do is try and create enough space for Matumba Man to get his Battle Fury and start making some plays happen.
Radiant's middle tower is
Yeah,
under
and the one who needs to create the space is the Lina, but since there's been these 3 Courier Snipes, the last of which had her bottle on it as well, so she's still without her bottle. She needs the Yules to be able to make plays on her own. And the sad story right now is that she kind of has to, because there's not really that good support. Witch Doctor and Chen, 12 minutes in, are not the best ganking supports for Alina. You're generally looking for an easy setup, like, say you have a Sand King, for example. So it's very easy for Lina to combine her stun, get extra burst, and get a kill. Cask just doesn't do the same, especially not against a Void and a Quap who can Time Walk and Blink it respectively. So unless she has her own setup, the kills aren't happening. And with the kills not happening, Void is out farming AM because of all the lane dominance that Suniko has given them. And Trixie, who's trying to farm a lane now, is probably going to get picked off against this. They don't have any idea where the dire heroes are right now. There's a swap from Vance. They're taking a lot of damage from the Firefly, actually. This could backfire. Matumba could get a dub. Oh!
Very close. Havos, no Chronosphere, should be okay. He can maybe turn and fight if he even wants to with no Mana Void, but... Suniko only now. If he had level 6 at the start of that, it would have been a lot easier, but didn't have the track for the movement speed. But still, overall looking good. Bottom lane Boogie now. Maybe going to be the next go down. There's a Zeus ulti. Dendi forced back. Didn't want to fight into the 2 supports. Thought he had maybe just a free solo pick off there.
Boogie hasn't earned, so he will be able to get himself up and running.
Not an item you normally see on
all
a
eyes
Chen.
Lina
Yeah.
right now. When you pick a solo mid Lina, she needs to get work done. And it's not like Nymphy's done nothing. He's been in 3 kills out of 5, so he hasn't been non-existent, but the Yules is the possible comeback is actually a Yules on Lina. I see no other real way for them to start finding the core kills they need. Apart from Blink Bat, but Well, that's also 1,000 gold away, minute 13. It's going to be very late.
Sonic Wave Scream. Dendy wants in onto Varlix here. It's TP towards the Lina, but Lina wasn't really ready. Hits the stun now. Dendy going to sidestep, but Laguna Blade will still get the kill. Nymphy gets one in return. Gets him close.
Fuels, I think.
Yeah, very close. Just needs the Void Stone now. About 800 gold away. Not as close as he'd like to be.
I'm going to check the bottom rune. This looks like it's going to be fine. So Nico is alone. So he will concede the rune to Nymphy. Just a stun for good measure in case Bounty's there. I guess the
Boogie throws a blind dust but doesn't find anything with it. The Dire Vision right now is just sees so much. You can see into the enemy Radiant jungle and also block off this big camp. You can see between the tier 1 and tier 2 towers mid, maybe set up some courier snipes with that, as if Saniko's not had enough. And he's just being a mobile ward himself. That's the thing, you've got the wards, but on top of that, Saniko in the enemy jungle is constantly finding out where 4 anchors are on the map.
And just look at Chen's itemization here. Just tells the tale of the game. This is not what you want to buy as Chen. This is what you buy when you really have no alternative. He's going Treads Earn, so very cost-efficient strength items to get health. Oh, they missed the stun! And Shaniko didn't even know they saw him.
Yeah. They caught him right at the edge of the sentry ward, so he just kept on running and gets out of it. TPs himself to the top lane. Looks like they may go for another kill on Trixie here, who's so close to his Blink Dagger. If he tries to farm one more creep wave, he is dead. Havos can solo kill him with a Chronosphere, and oh man, Trixie, you don't want to do this. He's been scouted though. This is...
He's actually dead already.
Yeah. Track kill, easy. Havos can get that alone, but the bounty being there means track money as well for Na'Vi. The big problem is this, like, Lina's going to get a Yules here. I wouldn't be surprised for Havos just to go into a BKB now. Your Zeus is going for a BKB. And then suddenly that Yules combo doesn't set up kills on 2 of the Na'Vi cores. Maybe Dendy can get brought down by the Yules combo, but the Zeus as well as the Void can't really be comboed by the Lina.
But that's just the worrying thing, right? That really shows how the game is going. When Zeus has Midas, Arcane's BKB by the time Lina gets her Yules, that's just... The laning stage has just been an absolute crush. Void currently sitting on more than 3,000 net worth higher than Anti-Mage. This is a very classic battle. If you've watched Dota 2 for a few years, there were a lot of games in the past where Void was the counter pick to AM, where if one team picks AM, you try to counter him with Void in the mid game because Chronosphere locks him down, has good physical damage, and can maybe kill him. And historically, in the laning phase, these heroes went pretty much toe-to-toe, and then when the jungle farming kicks in, AM would get ahead, but not by very much. Void is ahead by more than 50% this time around.
Dendy could be in trouble at bottom lane, by the way. Nymphy just picked up the Yules. He's going in, off of the smoke. I like the play. Get the Yules and immediately smoke up with Witch Doctor. No TP support available, and Nymphy will hit the combo. Doesn't even need the Laguna Blade, so we'll hold on to that.
They choose to use the Death Ward. I think this is a good choice if they go and use the Laguna immediately now. I mean, just like Na'Vi are trying Roach, this is a very greedy play. They don't have Chronosphere. They're 5-on-4 right now.
It's just not being... It's not expected, I think.
Yeah, exactly. It's very unlikely play, so it doesn't look like 4AC are even checking it. Or maybe they are. They're sending in a Satyr. The timing could actually be right here if they move
just
very
his
quickly.
Blink. There's a blink on your Bat Rider. He's smoked up. He's going to walk into Saniko, though, unfortunately. Oh, in goes your Bat. The track comes out, and Vengskor going to get cliffed here, but Havos already has the Aegis on his side. The cast bouncing around still. Havos, time walks to the high ground. Going to hold on to the Aegis. Blink up from Matumba Man. Not going to find any kills off of this, and Dendy about to respawn. This is not an easy fight to take. They bring down the Aegis. Oh, has he got a Chronosphere? You betcha. Doesn't get a chance to use it. The stun Laguna's waiting for him. No backtrack for you. Zeus doing some big damage there. The all heal will negate some of it. And 4 Anchors going to dust up Saniko. They may be able to bring him down. The Queen of Pain Sonic Wave Scream doing good work. But still, 4 Anchors, they survive. They're outlasting. And they get the final kill on the Bounty Hunter.
That was just a very high-risk play that I don't feel like Na'Vi needed to go for the rush there. I understand the idea that, well, it's pretty unlikely, so 4SC probably aren't going to check, but if they do, and with the timing they did, they send in the Chen creep, they get a free kill on Venge. Sure, you get your Aegis for Na'Vi, but you lose your tier 1 tower bottom, you lose the Aegis, you lose a team fight, and all of a sudden, the AM who was 3,500 gold behind Void is now trailing by 1,500. So this is comeback territory. They can definitely make it back into this game now, and Na'Vi, they're probably going to be... They're going to be like, okay guys, we screwed up. That was too greedy. Just the way their lineup should be doing Roche is find a pick off with Bounty and take Roche when you're 5-on-4, right? But
yeah,
they took it when they were 4-on-5.
they didn't have the bounty out on the map getting them the map control they'd had in the past. And also Dendy's dead, so they were 4v5. Bounty was not in a position where he was getting the scouting information he normally gets, so yeah, it was very greedy stuff, and we'll see a slight swing back the way of 4 anchors after that. About a pretty big swing, actually. About like a 9-10k gold lead down to about maybe 6,000, so pretty big for 4 anchors. Also just taking out the Aegis, as well as Havost a second time, but we'll see.
Getting the Battle Fury on AM.
Yeah.
Is the biggest deal.
It still feels like there's a long way for their recovery to come, though.
Yeah, realistically, if you do a comparison of the items between AM and Void, I think right now with the items they have, I want to say they farm equally fast. Void has Mask of Madness, Hyperstone, and Maelstrom. He can't use Time Walk between every single camp like AM can with Blink, because there's Battle Fury and the lower mana cost on Blink. But at the same time, he just clears these camps very quickly. Now, I want to say, this Hyperstone for me from Havost is really greedy. You talked about how he was probably going to build into BKB, which I think would have been a nice choice, especially when Lina is far behind and won't be getting an Aghanims anytime soon. He would almost render himself invincible in this game with a BKB, but going for the Mjolnir build-up, which he has now, I do believe, yep, there we go. I don't know, this, once again, seems like a greedy play, to be honest.
It feels like it's the safe option just to get a BKB, and then it's like, you get a BKB, yeah, you maybe don't have the same damage output and you can't get the same amount of kills, but how do 4 anchors come back if they can't kill your Void, your Zeus, your Queen of Pain, who's probably working on a BKB? I mean, I hope he's working on a BKB.
Void need to deal that damage when he's on team with a core Zeus and Claw. It's not yet, I think.
They're not lacking in damage, especially when you're ahead and 4 anchors are also squishy and underfarmed. Like, most of these heroes are only sitting around 1k HP. Mid lane now, they're looking to set up an initiation here. Dendy gonna blink in with the Orchid, not something they were expecting, but they set the bait here. Dendy gonna get taken out here. The send back is gonna happen. You know, not gonna see anything come from that. So Dendy just blinks into his own demise there, and without the Void being there for the Chronosphere, that's just not a fight Na'Vi wouldn't be taking.
This is where I want to say both teams, but actually it's probably more important right now. Oh, nice, the I Van score. I think you buy a gem now if you're 4 ESC on any of your heroes. Bat Rider will have the 4 staffs. There we go. Very nice choice. See, a lot of Chens in this situation will buy into the Ags. They're like, oh, I have a point booster. I'm more than halfway to my Ags. The way to come back into this game is to get map control. They have to know that Na'Vi have really good vision. The Bounty Hunter is being a nuisance. He must have placed some good wards. Chen can now counter out the wards. He can counter out Bounty. And if they get one good pick off on Bounty, they buy themselves a minute and a half with kind of safety for the AM, so to speak.
They maybe give the gem to the Bat Rider. It may just be like, pass it to the Bat, who's kind of like one of the best gem carries there is, while he keeps on farming towards his 4 staff, but...
Well, buying gem and putting it in base is not a good
Yeah, I was about to say, the courier's back at base. I'm not sure about that. Especially with the Bounty sniping so many couriers, could find that getting picked off. Nenfi, by the way, has not gone next into the Axe. He's picked up a Shadow Blade on Lina. What do we think about this item, Sind?
It's really good for the way he wants to play the hero right now, as it looks. He's taking a lot of initiative himself and is looking for solo pickoffs. And this counters the BKBs effectively. It's going to solo kill Dendy here.
Yep.
This is a kill that he gets with the Yules too, or he could just Yule Dendy, stun Dragon Slave and ult. But against the Zeus with BKB, he can actually potentially solo kill the Zeus starting out from Shadowblade. It allows him to move around the map, avoid the intel of the bounty. And maybe there, if he doesn't have the Shadowblade and he has, let's say, Yules and Ags, he might not find Dendy in the first place because Suniko informs his team that it's happening. So I actually like this choice, but it can also backfire. Trixie, speaking of backfire, gets...
A loose Trixie, Valix, TP out, no bash from Havost.
Could have chrono. I don't know. That was a risky chrono. Would have been the last millisecond almost.
I like what you say about Shadowblade. It seems like a really good idea because there is so many ways you can scout out Lina with a Bounty Hunter, ruin his day, so... It does seem like a nice little pickup here, and you know Na'Vi are going to go for those BKBs, so a Shadowblade initiation, as you said. You can get those kills despite the BKBs if you lead with a Shadowblade stun. Force Na'Vi to maybe spend money on detection, something that I guess their supports... I mean, look at this Venge. Vengskor as a support Venge, he is so rich.
Oh, there's a gem.
And yeah, he'll pick up a gem himself.
Well, so... The other thing is they're playing as Bounty Hunter. So if Nemphi gets tracked at any point during the fight, he has 2 choices. Either he cannot use his Shadowblade aggressively, or he has to self-Yules to remove track. And the moment he does that, he has to land his stun from the Shadowblade. Now, that there's a gem on the Venge, then it doesn't really matter too much. He kind of can initiate with Shadowblade. But I have to say I like the idea of this, because it shows that Nemphy wants to play aggressively and try to take initiative for the team. He could do it with Ags as well, but it limits his ability to do it alone. And right now, well, he's getting the gem himself. Looks like they want to try to find the bounty here with a Shadowblade into an easy kill with gem. But surprisingly, look at the 2 Na'Vi wards, still uncountered. The gem has not crossed through. Pretty much the only 2 spots that Na'Vi have wards they have not found. So, nice placement.
Well, we'll see Nemphy on the move with that Shadowblade. Not going to go too far. He doesn't want to... And at this point, he doesn't know about the Na'Vi gem, but we could quickly see him run into a Dendi Queen of Pain gem and get picked off. So that would be end to his pretty big streak, not to mention the Radiant gem being lost here would be pretty bad for Anchors. So Na'Vi playing things slower now. Bounty's picked up an Ogre Club, so it looks like BKBs is going to be the name of the game, with multiple BKBs coming out. All the Na'Vi heroes, apart from Revenge, have started work on a BKB.
Yeah, it's like, I thought 4ASC might have tried to go for an aggressive play in the top lane. They could have regretted that very quickly, as Nemphy was actually still under the dire Observer ward. He is going to find the Observer ward in the mid lane finally. And this could work against him if he thinks this was the only aggressive ward Na'Vi had. Because this aggressive one they had on the top cliff, or sorry, the cliff to the left, still has 45 seconds remaining on it. If he walks through that, Venge gets in a good position with the gem. They find a kill on Lina, which in turn steals 4ASC's gem. And then they would be without a gem.
Bottom lane, Matumba Man caught out. He's silenced up. Doesn't have the Manta Style yet. Will go down. I think Avos missed the Chronosphere. I came down bottom. Chronospheres are nothing, but they still killed the Anti-Mage even with the Miss Chrono.
Just zone and Chrono.
Yeah. It forced him to go north into Dendi's Orchid, you know? It's like...
Wow.
Well,
sick play.
I guess... Very next level from Havas.
There's the BKB. So we talked about it. I think he just managed to farm this BKB in like 3 minutes. And then ultimately it doesn't really matter that he goes for the Milner first. He didn't need the BKB once, so proves to be a good choice this time around. Is top lane. They're looking for Trixie. He's got decent vision, but Firefly expires now. If they use a Wave of Terror with perfect timing here, they checked the wrong side.
The static field still hit though, yeah. Falstaff did not move him at all, Trixie.
What?
He went left up, and you can't go left up the map, so...
I don't think he wanted to try to go there. I think he wanted to try to go straight north, but mistimed it.
If you go north, like, over the cliff, sometimes you can put yourself in a position without breaking the trees where you're kind of, quote-unquote, stuck. And then you could blink out, depending... I mean, depends what Zeus does. He could easily get vision of you with a bolt.
Oh, speaking of Zeus, there's the Ag Scepter for Phobos. He's getting very rich with his Midas build-up.
That's just one here we haven't really seen too much of. He's 207 just from throwing his ultimate around, but hasn't had to, he's on a 10-second BKB as well, but this is not a hero you can underestimate as far as damage output in the late game goes. Forces people to go BKB, but no one on the Radiant side can really afford one, apart from maybe Lina, but also Lina just doesn't want to go BKB. You want to go for that big damage Ag Scepter.
Yeah, I think he has to. They will not have enough damage to go through the BKBs if she doesn't get it. It's the reason for me why Lina is starting being considered as a mid as the Axe upgrade. She's received other buffs which are not insignificant, like the multiple buffs to Fiery Soul, the improved version of Yules, and I think the better damage of Dragon Slave, to mention a few of the things she's received as buffs. Even Light Strike Array is better. But it's the Axe upgrade that really kicks ass. It's where Lina's weakness in the past, where you reach this point in the mid game when cores get BKB and your Lina seems garbage. She now still has 1,000 damage nuke that goes through it with level 16. They're gonna have to have that, because else who's gonna kill in the BKBs? Matumba Man with a Manta? That's not gonna kill a single hero on them.
For Anchors have a lot of heroes grouped up at top lane. They know Na'Vi just took Roshan, but already Na'Vi swinging towards top lane. Haval's going to make himself known, moving through the mid lane past the creep wave, and 4 Anchors either have to fight or flight, and it looks like they're going to choose to run the hell away from this top lane.
Throw the tower down.
Okay, small little claim here. Havos, time looks forward. He's going to catch up the Chen here, and may just look to throw a Chronosphere, solo kill on the Boogie. Actually has some creeps there as well. That's a little bit of free extra gold going the way of Na'Vi. Kind of shows how Na'Vi are happy that they don't need to go for a big 5v5 push or anything, that they're just going to use a Chronosphere for a Chen there, that they're happy with the tempo this game is going. And for 4 Anchors, I mean, is the plan just going to be rely on the Anti-Mage split push at this point? Because I don't see any way they can team fight.
I don't know what the win condition is for their lineup anymore.
They lost their gem, yeah.
That's the biggest kill they can get on the map right now. So the problem with 4SC's lineup is, like when you look at the lineup and how it's built, it makes perfect sense. You get AM off to a good start, you put some pressure early on with Witch Doctor and Chen, Bad Rider gets a Blink, Lina gets her Yules, and you start playing skirmish while AM farms and split pushes, and then ultimately you hit critical mass when AM has 3 or 4 items, your Chen has maybe an Acceptor, and you start pushing high ground. But if your early game falls apart like it did with 3 courier snipes and your support's getting killed over and over, then all of a sudden your win condition, which was based on a good early game, is almost non-existent. Your only late gamer is an AM. Lina can get strong, but she does not scale like a Void. And on the Na'Vi side, you have Track Gold, you have Venge's Aura for both the Void and even the Queen of Pain. Zeus, kind of negligible with the Aura, but Zeus is still a really strong late gamer. Once BKBs are down, he has like the highest damage output in the game. So it's just seeing the win condition here for 4ESC, it feels like they have to find a really good smoke gank, maybe get high ground, force buybacks, and then get another good fight, or they have to get a Roche, but that just seems impossible right now.
An Anti-Mage as a late game carry is normally decent in the late game because he out-farms heroes, because he's such a good farming efficient hero, but when you're behind the enemy carry, suddenly Anti-Mage is not really that good late game carry, because he's behind the Void, on par with a Zeus and a Queen of Pain, so from that point of view, this is not going to be a good game for the Anti-Mage, even if you get to the late game.
That's a really good point. He's generally, if AM gets very good farm, I would consider him one of the best carries in the game at minute 30, and not even top 10 at minute 60.
Yeah.
And now they have Void, who is arguably top 3 minute 60, or at least top 5. Double Chronosphere, which it looks like Host will be building into with this Ags build up here, is gonna, like, 4AC don't have a solution to that in the game.
Na'Vi now with Aegis in their hands for another couple of minutes. We're going to start working on some towers and objectives here, but it is going to be the smoke, well, not so much a smoke play, but a rotation towards top lane. They could have almost caught out Saniko here, but they have no gem. Saniko just scouts out everything. They've got dust, but Trixie blinks forward. What are you thinking, Saniko? He's thinking he's got Havos right behind him. Havos comes in with a BKB, goes in on Trixie. The Mjolnir damage. Trixie will be brought down. No. Yep, just in time. Shen, no sendback was being used there on the sideline. Standy tries to bring down the Witch Doctor, won't be successful. Boogie, the casualty, instead. Na'Vi bring enough heroes top to turn that one around, and a track kill or two going their way as well.
If that was the plan from Saniko, that was a very nice play. Using track there, because you could hear what your reaction was, and 4ESC's was probably the same. What the hell is he doing? He just...
What the hell is he doing there in mid lane, by the way?
Okay, that's another question. But he just... Like, he just tracked us, and we have a Bat Rider with dust in the neighborhood. This is a free kill.
Yeah.
And if that was planned beforehand, with him wanting them to go on him so they could get a chrono, that was a very nice play. But regardless, they get 2 for 9. Ultimately, he does die now, but that's a kind of separate entity.
Havos doing Havos things, blinking onto the high ground here. Won't get the kill on the Witch Doctor. Didn't get the necessary bashes, and no Mask of Madness for him. But Anti-Mage, the split push. This is what you resort to at this point. He's down at the bottom lane, going onto the tier 2 tower. Bit worried about a potential Chronosphere, but Havos is at the mid lane, so he's going to just blink back to safety for now. Manta style on cooldown as well being the other big thing. So if Dendi comes in with an Orchid, he could find himself in some trouble.
Yeah. So here's the problem. What do you buy with AM right now? You know you have to carry the game and you have to do the damage for your team. BKB does not solve the Void problem. If you don't get BKB and you go for damage items, you get completely destroyed by Zeus. Even if you have the BKB, you can still take a lot of damage from the new Sonic Wave, and of course there is, as mentioned, still the Void. So I think he has to get BKB because of Zeus, Quap, and Void, and the alternative you usually get for tankiness is a Heart, but Zeus is really good against Heart, since his static field is percentage-based. So there's like no other item than BKB, so he has to get that first. And then working on his next item when you're behind like this is probably going to take him somewhere between, I want to say, 6 and 9 minutes to get a big item again. And in that time, Void will have his refresher, and then they can just get Aegis and probably end the game. They currently are sitting on an Aegis and might want to try to force the issue earlier, but it's just... Once again, the game plan from 4ESC, this is not the... When you draft like this is never the position you want to be in at 30 minutes. And sometimes you gamble your draft on a good early game and you don't get it, and you obviously still try to play to the end, but it's just very difficult to see how they can perform what they need to do here.
It definitely goes to show like how teams are just not used to dealing with Bounty Hunter. I think if you go back like 2 or 3 years where Bounty Hunter was like a top pick as an offlaner, like around the TI2 times, teams were so good as far as knowing how to use sentries, when to plant them, how to bait them in. They got the first blood, but after that, they have not dealt with this Sinico Bounty Hunter at all. It's just like an uncommon pick that teams are just not adjusted to.
It's funny to see, right? He's 3, 5, and 5, but I feel like he's maybe had the biggest impact on the game with his hero. And it's just been scouting, 3 courier snipes in the early game, which have snowballed his entire team. And ultimately, right now, I think he could just cast track for the rest of the game and do nothing else. And he has done enough. Like, if he doesn't even do anything sneaky, like finding another courier kill or setting up a gank or anything, just casting track every time he sees a hero, he's done his job. So
he'll be able to stay alive now. He's got he's about to have BKB, about 300-400 gold away, so won't be as easy of a kill. But
Man gets blocked by Dendi. They're actually going to go on him here. This is going to be a very easy kill on the AM, and probably the biggest kill they can find to him. Oh, he bought his BKB as well. No buyback.
I guess he wanted to buy it. Well, I don't know if he would have lost too much gold there, but yeah. Thinking maybe his teammates can just stall for him, but 1 minute on the sidelines, and Na'Vi, they've not got Aegis at the moment, but hey, they'd love to force out an anti-mage buyback, which doesn't exist, so they may just get some damage onto the high ground.
And Chronosphere is going to be available before AM respawns because of the Ags. So it's a 60-second cooldown, and AM's death timer right now is like 80. So every single time he comes back, they can just chrono him again.
Here you go, Na'Vi thinking about pushing high ground here. Vengskor and Havos on the front lines, and even if Vlad's pick up for Vengskor, giving them more damage here. Havos taking heavy damage, but he survives on 50 HP. Vengskor going to be the casualty instead. The cast, the death ward, they're doing huge work on Na'Vi. Oh my god, they just got baited into that one. Who needs anti-mage?
Wow, that was an incredible cask right there, and Havos lucky to get out alive here as Nymphy just really drops a lot of damage there. Choosing to go for the BKB over the Ags. With an Ags there, that's a kill on Havos, but regardless, very big fight for 4ASC here, getting the 3 kills. And when you're behind like this is going to be like a 5k gold swing probably from that fight. AM gets some time to farm. They're going to need more of this, and I think Na'Vi won't make the same mistake of going high ground without Aegis again. So next time around, Vost will not be forced out, but rather they have to drop the Ags ult, or sorry, the Lina ult on Void to get the Aegis, and then the question is, can they take the fight afterwards when he is in it?
They just didn't have their, like, Zeus didn't have ultimate for that fight as well. Next time around, Zeus is likely to have a refresher Ags ultimate, so start the fight with 2 Ags Zeus ultis. You may have a Chen on your side, but you're not going to negate enough of that damage with that Hand of God. There is now an Ancient Granite Golem, though, for Boogie, so he's boosting up everyone's HP by a decent amount. But yeah, this Zeus is a problem.
Yeah, his refresher, what are we looking at timing-wise?
Oh, Havos also working on a refresher.
They almost have both their refs, actually.
Double refresher very soon.
1500 short, Phobos is 400 short. So they're going to get both of those and a Roche, which I think it's impossible for 4SC to contest this one.
Yeah.
And then, well, that was a really good defense from 4ASC, though, and they're actually getting close to getting Ag Scepter and Witch Doctor. He's only 600 away from it. Nymphy is probably going to get Ags as his next item, so 2,000 to go for that. I want to say one more good fight for 4ASC, and they're definitely still in it, but the hardest challenge still remains, which is, can you win a fight against the double refreshers and Aegis? They do. They're pretty damn good.
I mean, you say they're pretty damn good, but even if this goes to like 50-60 minutes, do you see them having a lineup which functions at a 60-minute stage of the game? Because to me, it's like, Lina's a hero that will kind of fall off. Antimage, you kind of mentioned, is not even a top 10 60-minute hero. Like, does their lineup even win late game? Or does it have a chance late game?
It does if Witch Doctor becomes the secret weapon, where they find some sort of a setup and they get a good death ward off. They have the initiation of Batrider, and if Lina ends up getting a Hex, they could be opening on 2 heroes simultaneously. If one of them is the Void, they can probably get off a decent death ward unless Venge has vision and gets a swap. It's so many things at once that need to happen. It is possible. Like, as I said earlier, very skeptical about their win condition, especially how things were going, but I mean, their lineup can do this, else they would have GG'd out, right?
Yeah.
But it is a lot of things that need to click, and most importantly, Na'Vi, it feels like they have to screw up too.
Yeah.
They've done it once on the high ground, so maybe they'll do it again.
Yeah, I think 4 Anchors are going to struggle to survive the refreshers Aegis we talked about, but then, yeah, even if they do somehow delay things 10 minutes beyond that and get back to a more stable point, it is still Na'Vi who have the edge. But, yeah, like you say, it's not completely over. 4 Anchors have some options available to them. And, well, we will be seeing some, I mean, item progressions still continue to grow for these heroes. Antimage already up to 3.5k gold. Yelena's got 2,000 gold, and Roshan now respawning, which is very likely to be picked up by Na'Vi, especially with these fresh double refreshers on their side.
And they're going to be really scary to fight into. The good news for 4ASC, of course, is these refreshers do not really deal damage. So, once again, if they do manage to get a good pick-off or a good opening, then even if Zeus has double refresher ultimate, it doesn't matter as long as the BKB is running on AM and Lina. Then the refresher for Zeus, sure, it's going to damage the 3 other heroes, but he wants to hold it until after the So the way to go about this is to try to find an open on Quost and bring him down, because his double chrono is the scarier one. It doesn't deal direct damage, but obviously it will outlast their BKBs, and then Zeus is going to make quick work of everyone. They're just going to go the way of Phobos, surprisingly. I thought they were going to give it to Quost. This might make the high ground siege harder, to be honest.
Voss doesn't really have the item slots for it, I think. I mean, he'd have to drop his Mask of Madness, which at this point, he kind of needs it for the damage. With BKB, Ags, and Refresher, none of these items really give damage, so he needs every bit of damage he can get.
You could try some next level shit with dropping, or having a courier next to him with a Mask of Madness on it, and item swapping, using Mask of Madness and swapping it back. But yeah.
I don't know what happened to the Chen, but he lost his Granite Golem, so Boogie, just with these Black Dragons and Thunderhides, Ancients, which are kind of meh. They tank, but they don't really do a whole lot.
Might find an opening on Vanscore. E-Blade Ruse from Trixie, uh-oh.
Oh dear. Navarre's gonna go in for the solo kill, the sandbag Trixie. Oh, that Zeus ulti secures that.
Super effective.
That was a BKB from Havas, but down at 8 seconds now. At this point, he's just happy to burn it as much as possible.
What do you think about that E-Blade pickup? Do you think that's good on the Batrider of this game?
He's not the one initiating. If he was the one sitting back, like if he's like a defensive support who can sit back and use it to save a teammate, it's one thing. But he's the one in the going in first in any fight, so I don't think it's going to help him because of that.
I mean, I'm just thinking, what do you generally use an E-Blade for late game? Either you cast it on an opponent to disarm them or prevent them from it. Well, ultimately disarm them, right? Prevent them from attacking and deal extra magic damage, or you cast it on an ally to save them. But his allies have BKB, and if you cast it on someone who doesn't have BKB, he gets completely blown apart by 2 Zeus ults. So I'm not sure what the idea here is. If it's to amplify Lina's ult and then she doesn't get Ags, maybe that's the idea?
Lina just panic BKB'd. Oh, I don't know if it was a panic, but the high ground ward was used and then immediate BKB from Nymphy. Maybe just meant to deal with here. Havas in the front lines. Laguna Blade will go through. Havas taking a lot of damage, but just going to be pushed back here, and they're going to have to wait out the cooldown on that Laguna Blade. Pretty low cooldown on Laguna Blade, so if they can deal with this creep wave and this push here, they will have it for the next creep wave that can come. They go in, they want Havas here, they're actually going to go on him, he's got no Aegis! Havas is dead, great play, and now in goes Matumba Man. He's got the BKB, wants to go on Phobos, but Phobos with Aegis, not the best target here. Mana Void gets used, possibly unnecessarily, but still, damage being done onto the Na'Vi side here. It's going to be a buyback from Havas. There's your Zeus ultimate, number 1. Boogie on the run here. Second Zeus ulti comes through, takes out the lane. Matumba Man no longer has a BKB. One Stendy who's BKB won't be able to get him. On the front lines is your Bounty, who's going to now, well, see your gem recovery. 4 anchors. No buyback on Lina. This is not going to be an easy hold for them, especially once Havas rocks up to the fight again.
Yeah, this is going to be a double chrono fight. They still have Cheese on Dendi as well. So that was pretty good from 4ASC, getting the Void and getting the Zeus Aegis.
Just a Zeus Aegis, though.
Matumba
Man, there's your E-Blade. Trixie's maybe saved Matumba Man with that one. Second Chrono comes in. Can they bring down the Antimage? They still can. Antimage dead. Has a buyback. Will probably have to use it here. They're going to lose the Batrider as well. But now Antimage holding on to this one. He can't really fight without the Lina, I guess. Also, no Witch Doctor Ag Scepter still. This is looking like the end of the middle lane of Rax, and possibly even bottom as well. They're going to blink in, go in on Boogie. Boogie goes Scepter, will keep him alive a bit longer. Antimage will buy back, has a Mana Void available. Blinks in. Can he get anyone with this? Nice Mana Void! Double kill onto Dendi and Bounty. And Havas is hit by the Maledict. He's going to die as well. Is there going to be a backtrack? He gets the backtrack! Oh! He was dead! If not for that backtrack.
He might still die. I think he's still dead here. AM with one more blink and then Manta.
Oh, nice. He jukes it. He's got the mana for a Time Walk. Can Matumba Man chase him down? Gets the slow on that as well. He's chasing and he wants a Voss. 8 seconds left. In comes your Zeus. Matumba Man doesn't have a Mana Void. He's not going to get the kill, on at least not onto a Voss. He goes on DK Phobos instead. Can he bring him down? Needs another bash, perhaps. He's going to get the kill. Okay, that's almost, well, probably about just as... Havos had no buyback, so actually killing Havos would have been huge.
That Mana Void was sick. And, like you said, Havos gets a lucky backtrack on the last Maledict tick. I think that was a kill from Matumba Man, if with a little bit more crisp execution on the blinks, but regardless, that's still really big for them.
If they killed Havos, maybe we see a push down the other way. With Havos not having any buybacks, it would be just the Zeus kind of with the damage upward to defend. That could have been pretty big, but instead, Havos still alive with one Chronosphere at his disposal.
Now they need to be careful. Like you said, no buyback.
Okay.
Trixie's really going to be looking for this. This is probably the best opportunity for us. To be honest, I think the best opportunity they're going to get at winning the game is right now.
Nemphy on the side here. They see him with the gem.
Oh, he misses the stun.
Nemphy's going to be okay here. It looks like Na'Vi going. The Chronosphere catches up Dendy, but Nemphy still dead right off the bat. Time Walk in from Havos. Aggressive play from him. Matumba Man just going to turn and fight. But Zeus respawning in 10 seconds time. Looks like it's time to back off if you're for anchors.
Tower is under attack.
I'm wondering... No, I guess I was thinking whether Nemphy should have tried to Yule Venge into a combo and then use his BKB. But the thing is... The potential counterplays from Na'Vi during that Yules is just way too much. The 2.5 seconds wait time is more than enough for Void to find a Chrono. So he kind of has to try to go for the stun there and just gamble it. And he misses it narrowly and gets killed. He probably dies anyway, though. So he would have traded himself for Avenge. I mean, that wouldn't have been a good play either. So ultimately, probably shouldn't have done that.
The big opening was maybe Trixie, who almost could have got the lasso on the Void at mid lane. There is a level 3 Venge swap, but we haven't actually seen that swap used many times this game to counter the lasso. And this is where we kind of talked about during the draft. You can still pick that into Venge. It still forces out Venge to swap in and suicide half the time. But now Matumba Man, Abyssal Blade completed. He's going to find possibly Saniko at the top lane. I wonder if he's going to go in on this one with a Blink Abyssal. Does do so. Saniko has got mana still. No, he's gone down. Mana Void will secure the kill, and this just delays things. It forces Na'Vi to maybe TP heroes back to the top lane. They can't go for another push anytime soon. Nice plays coming out from your anti-mates. This game not over yet, Cinderin.
Yeah, the top tier 3 almost down here. 4 illusions banging away at it. So he's doing a good job here. They bring it down to 300. So this is when... Oh, I like this smoke a lot. They have decent pressure. They're going to have Matumba Man push out the mid lane, so there's at least one hero visible on the map. And the 4 other heroes from 4AC are going to rotate. Now this bottom wave is in a position where Na'Vi might expect, okay, they're not going to farm this wave because, well, okay, never mind, they see Void top. If Hvosd was off the map and 4AC don't farm this, it can easily be interpreted as, oh, well, they're scared of our Void, so they're not going to farm the wave. And that's when you can make a smoke play. They're smoking into Roche, who can't even spawn yet, so that's questionable. But I really like the idea behind the smoke. They're not going to find anything, but it's the way to play right now. They need to be aggressive like this and look for a pickoff.
Finding pickoffs is going to buy them just a lot more time right now. Like the Matumba Man pickoff at top lane forced Na'Vi back a lot, and Na'Vi aren't getting much stronger at this point. Havos effectively 6-slotted, maybe replaces the Mask of Madness with like a Butterfly or an Assault Crest or something, but for the most part, him as well as Zeus are maxed out. Queen of Pain now has a Scythe of Vice. Some room to grow item-wise, but this is really as scary as Na'Vi are going to get.
Someone's going to have to buy physical damage on Na'Vi. Hvosd can sell, like you said, Mask of Madness is the obvious selling choice, and then I think probably the most cost-efficient item right now would be a Daedalus, so they have some heavy single target. Else Quap can go down that path. Dendi has done that many times in the past, going for like a Desolator, maybe even Daedalus MKB Quap build. So either of them has to do a physical DPS build, and you can put it on the Quap and then have Hvosd get what was suggested, Butterfly, and what was the other one?
Very fast Roshan respawn, scattered out by the Chen. Na'Vi, though, pushing down bottom.
Hello? What?
Are you there?
Hello?
Hello? I'm sorry?
What's going on?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was talking to you for 20 seconds. I was like, I asked you a question, you just ignored
Oh,
me.
I think you cut out at the end. I don't know, a TeamSpeak thing, man. What was your question, Cinder? I'm here, I'm listening.
That's really weird. Okay, no, it doesn't. I don't think we have time for it. It's also not that important.
Alright.
let's see if Voss can get this opener. If he doesn't, okay. So what I was saying was one of them needs to build physical. It doesn't have to be. Dendi can do it on Quap, getting something like Deso, MKB, and Daedalus. I think Voss should get Daedalus instead of the Mask of Madness though. But you suggested 2 items he could go for. It was Butterfly or another one.
Oh, Assault Caress.
Assault Caress, yeah, that could be good too. So yeah, one of those 2 on him, and then Dendi getting physical is one of those.
They've got a lot of like just the Venge alone with the Vlad's and the Wave of Terror plus Vengeance Aura does give everyone some physical damage, but problem is Vengscore often dies at the start of the fight because he has to swap save a teammate.
Yeah.
Killing Vengscore is generally a pretty worthwhile pick-off for 4 Anchors, even if he's going to swap save someone from a lasso.
So he's carrying the Vengeance Aura and the Vlad's, so that's a very big kill.
Give the Aegis to the Zeus once more, and we'll see Na'Vi now make their way down bottom lane. Buyback status on the Radiant side. Anti-Mage has his in 30 seconds. That's the big one they're missing. Witch Doctor short on money. Has got the Ag Scepter, though. Something he hasn't had in recent fights. This is maybe something that could be a game changer for 4 Anchors.
They're going to have to execute this really well. But once again, with no Aegis on Void, they might be able to find the opening.
Use a Zeus ulti, get the Sword Vision, Matumba Man hexed up! This is going to force out his buyback. Chrono number 1, the E-Blade's there, Matumba Man's still alive, he'll die to the second Zeus ulti. Havos refreshes the Chrono, catches out Vilex as well as Boogie. Here comes your Anti-Mage buyback soon, but not soon enough. They've already lost both their supports. Trixie in the fountain, going to go down to a Queen of Pain, right click, and Matumba Man buys back, gets Dendi. Dendi going to buy back. Na'Vi want to end this game now. They haven't got any Chronospheres available off of this. Havos will die. Yes, he will. Down goes Havos, has a buyback available, but 4 Anchors are defending. Dendi bought back, possibly unnecessarily.
No escape.
Yeah, no TP and no mana. This seems like a decent hold for 4 Anchors. They're taking a bit of damage in the mid lane, but second kill on your Zeus, and well, Na'Vi need to get something done while these buybacks are on cooldown, I feel. The Bat as well as the Anti-Mage. Next time they have the Void Chronospheres, they've got to push and win this game. Or at least, I mean, they don't have to. They can still take this game 60 plus minutes, but it feels like that's the kind of window they have to fight around.
And the really scary thing there for Na'Vi is they had Aegis and Cheese, and AM didn't have immediate buyback. So when he died, I think there was 10 seconds cooldown on his buyback. If he had it instantly there, I think the fight could have gone even worse for Na'Vi, because then he would have been back in the fight faster, maybe find even another kill than what they did. But ultimately, it does kill 4 heroes of Na'Vi. Dendi using the buyback seemed like a little bit of a waste there as well. And if Matumba Man now finds a kill on Dendi, that's a 2-minute window where it's 5 on 4. So all of a sudden, Na'Vi's high ground sieging in this game has not really been that impressive. And once again, I think both Chronos going onto the AM there, the E-Blade that I was skeptical about, proving to be really useful for Trixie since it seems to be able to force out the second Chrono on Matumba Man every time.
Well, that second Chronosphere was on the 2 supports.
Oh, it was? So they only chronoed him once.
Yeah, they killed him with he got E-bladed, and then like the second, it forced out the Zeus refresher ulti. That's what killed the Anti-Mage in the E-blade. Was like a refresher Thunder God's Wrath. And then the second Chronosphere, he time walked further and then Chronosphered, I think it was the Chen and the Witch Doctor. Which didn't seem like you ideally want to get someone like Alina, or even hold the second Chronosphere for the Anti-Mage buyback.
Yeah, that's the ideal, is actually to kill him with the first Chrono and be able to just wait. If they get Matumba Man for free, he has to buy back. There's no way the 4 of those take the fight, and then the moment that comes, if they get him in another Chrono, the game's probably over.
Well, it took 50 minutes, but Nempi has an Ag Scepter.
Yeah.
And
I like the idea of the Shadow Blade. Do you feel like it's been worthwhile?
Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic pickup. I think it's actually proven to be better than an Ags would have been.
Okay. How many pickoffs did they find because of it? I can't remember how many he found, but
yeah. But even outside of the pickoffs, I think just using it to give him that safety that he can kind of play like the bounty hunter did in the early game, get scouting information for his team, and just pose a big threat for Na'Vi. So I think it's paid off. Okay. Definitely the theory behind it.
Honestly, I wasn't sure. I feel like he could have had the eggs earlier and it might have netted them a kill or 2 in addition on heroes that got away low. There was like that one memorable point with the Void who got away with like 50 health and would have died to Laguna, but apart from that, like you're saying, the safety of the Shadow Blade, it's hard to say how much he would have farmed without the Shadow Blade and how freely he could have moved around the map. So I agree, it's probably, on second thought, I think it was worth it.
I think if he didn't get that, he'd need to get like a Blink Dagger or something, but
yeah. And even then, he can get opened by bounty, and then anything can happen.
This poor Chen still cannot find a Granite Golem. It's finally respawned just... I'd be like keeping eyes on him, like, where is this Granite Golem? Because he's had this Ag Scepter, but he's going to lose his creeps, actually. Avos picks him off in the mid lane. Bottom lane is where the focus seems to be, but... Yeah, this Chen, as far as a late game hero goes, is not really offering much to 4 Anchors, apart from maybe a send back. If he can send back an Anti-Mage inside a Chronosphere and keep him alive with the heals, that would be huge, but doing so is not the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah, there's no diffusal on Na'Vi, right?
There is not.
That would actually be a really nice pickup. It can remove the Ethereal Blade, and it can remove the Chen Sendback. So that's actually a pretty cool choice. I think Sunico could totally go for that in the Bounty Hunter.
Thunderman goes in with Abyssal Blade as he's getting sent back. Trying to bait out a Chronosphere. Now they're trying to do some cheeky plays with the send back as Anti-Mage blinks in, and that's where the Diffusal Blade you mentioned is going to become more and more likely. So Havos has double Chronosphere. They're going to swap in Matumba Man. He's got no buyback. The E-Blade is there. Can they keep him alive? They need the send back. Is it available? Matumba Man is brought down. 2 minutes without your Anti-Mage. Second Chronosphere, you're going to catch out your Lina, who does have a buyback. Will do it immediately, but Na'Vi have broken 4 Anchors here with this Anti-Mage kill. That Thunder God's Wrath into level 3 swap play is just punishing 4 Anchors time and time again.
It's very hard to deal with. They're currently 5-on-3.
Trixie getting low here. They've got nothing to fight into Na'Vi. No lasso even. They're going to lose the Chen as well. Nemphi doesn't have a Laguna Blade for some time. He'll get hexed up in his own base, but hold on to his life for now. Na'Vi can't go for that third lane of racks with the tier 2 tower up, but they may just go for the tier 4s here.
Wow, they're really low, those tier 4s.
These the creep waves just keep on coming in the mid lane throughout this game, and now the throne exposed. Na'Vi looking like they may be able to get that 2-0 win here. 4 Anchor's not going to tap out just yet. The E-Blade comes out onto Havos. Nemphi annihilates him. Insta buyback from Havos. May pick up some boots of travel. Does do so. He's keeping right back in. Nemphi, it's going to be a dieback from Yelena and possibly GG. As Havos goes in. Chronosphere on 2. This is the end for your Finnish squad. They're going to get knocked out of the Summit 3.
Yeah, this game got a lot closer than I thought it would. I mean, a lot of credit to Na'Vi for their early game, especially Sunico, I feel like played an exceptional game. In the series as a whole, in the first game, I think they gave they showed some weakness in the early game against 4C, but then their mid game was just really good. Like the draft, I feel